Turn a white but no six slash. I won't never sell my soul. Looking like that. And I really wanna know where. I've been moving them out. And still look with me, then he got the blues in the pouch. Took it to the forest, put the wood in the mouth. Don't wear no shoes in my house. Hello, this is your host Avatar, and thank you for the show and watching this video. And this is your host Avatar. Welcome to episode number 19 for Hustle Up channel. And for this video, the topic we'll be talking about will be financial goals. Yes, they are so much important, I'm telling you. So I've written down today. The first one actually is creating a budget. I think this is one of the most important. So I've actually written down on number one. It came out of my head today, and this entire baseline is for me to build business. So I have a plan. I'm trying to build a business. So in order to build a business, I think you have to have a business plan and financial goal. So my first thing I've written down today is creating a budget. So I think that's a very important thing, so we can know what budget we're gonna beginning of doing something. So what money you're gonna spend. Keep for the budget, for your budget. So basically, number two, I've written down understanding your expenses. So I think that's one of the most important too. After number one of budget, expenses is just as much as important, because we have to know what our spendings are. Like insurance, gas, groceries, whatever you buy, shoes, extra stuff, toys, collectibles, anything you name it, food, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A. So I think first of all, of course, it's the budget. So you're gonna keep the budget. So you don't know how you're not gonna overspend the budget. You're not gonna overspend the money. That's why we have something called budget. And then secondly, we are talking about expenses. Expenses is something. And you already know like what we spend, and we have to actually make a spreadsheet for that. And I think this is so much important. So that came in my head today, so I have documented it down. Number three, understanding your income. That's also important. So why is important? Because what you make is what you spend. What you make is what your expenses are and your budget set up. So according to myself, next month when everything reopens, my plan the game will really kick in that time, so that I would know how much I will be making from my eBay, my passive income, and then my regular business income. And after combining all that, I'm gonna start making a chart for my expenses and budget again, so I can save money and also set my budget. So they're all related. And number four, consolidate your debt. And telling you the truth, debt is a very bad thing. I've been through it, and people go through a lot of bankruptcy and stuff. But people with debt is not a very good thing to keep. So I always try to keep my debt zero as possible, but otherwise maybe a couple $100 on a credit card. Because I think a credit card is a very, very bad thing to use over again, and it gives you addiction, and then you end up spending like $10,000-$20,000, and then you end up in the court. So I think it's always you want to use your cash money, and that's the way I'm planning. I'm not trying to be an expert. I'm not teaching anyone here, but this is my plan. I think it's good to keep it as low as possible, so you can then keep the other things balanced. And number five, the last one came out in my head. I'm keep writing it down. So maybe my next episode, I'll be writing up more about financials. If something came up in my mind, is number five. I've written down creating a emergency fund. Emergency fund is just also very important, because what if another COVID-19, the lockdown rehab. We hope, of course, vaccines will come in, and we don't have to go through all this lockdown. It's really terrible for all of us, gaining weight, sitting at home, doing nothing. And so I think creating an emergency fund is so important, so you can keep that emergency money. You don't spend that money. That's not what I think people keep in a bank or something. This is something emergency fund. I think I'll keep on the side for myself, and so if anything happens, then I can use that money and pay my rent, and I can survive, because that's the way I do. And I've discussed before in my some of my older videos and episodes that I also put money in my retirement plan, and that was one of my financial goals, and those mutual funds and all that. So we can talk a little bit about that again on my next video. And so emergency fund, yes, I'll do that again, because natural disasters can be possible in future. You never know what's coming up, all this global warmings and everything, and I would keep that money away from my budget and expenses and just keep it as emergency fund. You comment below, you tell me what's your ideas, what would you do with your financials, how would you keep your financial goals, what would you do, what ideas you have, what contents we want to discuss. We can maybe get a Zoom interview, and we can talk together. And if you like this show, please click the button below and please subscribe. We really appreciate that. It takes us a lot of time to create all these videos. So I hope you will subscribe our channel, and we'll see you on episode number 20, and keep watching it. And also don't forget to hit the notification for the bell, and hit that bell so you can receive all our wonderful future episodes. And I'll be stopping this video now, and I hope you have a great one. Thumbs up, keep it up, hustle up, don't stop. You can make it. Anyone can make it. I can make it. You can make it. I made it before, and I'll make it again, and you can make it. Hustle up, and see you again, and good luck.